All right. So I would love to hear what was through doing this work, through participating in the psychic herbalism clairvoyant program, what did you notice within yourself shifted?
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Again, so through participating in the psychic herbalism clairvoyant program, what shifts or changes did you notice within your own energy through doing this work and the tools and communicating with the plants?
I feel like the biggest piece of it all is just this newfound confidence and affirmation of the abilities that I already have. And that's been super invaluable. I think I didn't go in with too many expectations, but my experience was much more robust than I could have imagined. And I feel like the tools that I have gained to manage my own energy and clear my own energy and feel protected have been invaluable. So yeah, just this confidence that I can take charge of my own energy and I know what it's like to be in my own energy. And I have this affirmation that what I am sensing and hearing when I'm communicating with others is true and real.
Beautiful. That's awesome. Do you have any particular experiences with the plants that you can recall that you would like to share?
I think the biggest one has been with bleeding heart. It's just been coming back up. I mean, I think in general, this, I guess, vibrational medicine kit or this group of allies that I've kind of landed on who just keep showing back up is really affirming. But my experience with bleeding heart was just really beautiful. And it was just an energy that I knew that I wanted to continue working in. And it's taken me down a deeper path of another energy work project that I've been doing of creating this amulet for myself and for getting to the deep, the wounding in my heart, and infusing bleeding heart and things like that has been really special. So I guess all of these experiences have been kind of similar in that they just get me back to this knowing that I already have, but they make me feel like supported and guided on that journey. And it's just like a friend that you can lean on.
Yeah.
So yeah, in general, that's my experience. I don't have like a specific aha moment that I can think of at this time right now.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, it makes sense. It's when people kind of pinpoint me with that question, I'm like, all of them. I don't know.
I know there's been too many. I think I'm still processing everything, right? Like we spoke to so many different plants. So I'm still digesting all of that. And I guess one thing that stuck out was my experience with Oregon grape, because I didn't really have any like dark feeling experiences, but that one felt really dark and weird. And then it turned out we did an energy session together and discovered like some sort of cord or like attachment. So that was pretty striking, I would say.
That was striking. I remember. Yeah, I remember that. And it's interesting how some plants just hit some vibration within us that's like an ancient experience, like, a different body that you had. And there's still something going on with that. And the plant shows us. I mean, I think that's kind of what makes this work pretty unique in how we go about looking at things, because oftentimes with herbalists, it's like, okay, here's your tincture, here's your tea, here's your flower essence. And they're working on those energies, but we get to have just more awareness and a different process and healing. And also the knowing that it really is truly a vibration because we're experiencing it so clearly all the time. I remember you saying something like you would connect to a plant and you'd feel something in your heart, or you feel something in your womb, or you feel something somewhere in your body. And then you'd be like, oh, but da da da, this is just da da da. And then it just kept happening over and over. And then I think marshmallow is the one you're like, okay, now I'm salivating.
Yeah, it's so easy to write these things off. And I realized that actually those sensations in my body are a really big piece, especially when I've been practicing energy healing on others. Because it leads me to these connections. And when I reflect it back to people, they're like, oh my gosh, yes, that's what's going on. You know, it's my right side and the grief in my heart or whatever. But yeah, at the beginning, it was really easy to just write those off as just normal bodily functions or whatever. But yeah, they just like light up different parts and show you what you're meant to feel, see, hear. It's really cool. And it's also a big thing about this work has been expanding, I guess, just my definition of like the clairs and my belief that I possess, you know, the full range. Cause I would just be like, I really like how you say to reframe things and be like, I can't see it, you know, and that's kind of ingraining this idea that we're not clairvoyant, but actually the more I've done this work, the more visuals I do get, and certain plants more than others. And before I was like judging that and thinking, oh, I just don't have that ability. But you know, you communicate with Blue Lotus, and then all of a sudden you see all this crazy stuff. And it unlocks like childhood memories of when I would have those experiences. So it's really cool. I think the biggest thing is the affirmation. And that's kind of why I came to this program, was for that accountability, because I knew, you know, I had a sense, but I was like,
You
I
knew.
need to trust myself and I need someone to hold me accountable to that.
Yeah. I mean, it's this inkling that we have a lot of the times as children. I had that too as a child. Like I just had the self-image that I was psychic, but I was like, where does this self-image come from? And then through doing this work and having these repeated experiences where we're seeing things, or it's like, okay, I can't, I mean, it feels so easy oftentimes that like, oh, I must be making this up. It's like, oh, I feel energy in my heart. This came too easily. I must be making it up. And that's kind of the whole thing that we're unwinding, right? Is that being psychic is actually incredibly easy, and even being clairvoyant, which a lot of people, there is kind of some energy on how I notice people like associate, which they're like, oh, well, I'm more clairsentient because I feel more. And it's just, you know, where we are in our chakras. And everyone has a sixth chakra.
Yeah, that's a huge piece too of, oh, well, I don't really see things. But then like when I actually put this intention there and go to that space, you know, I'm like, oh yeah, I've unlocked this whole imaginal realm. And it's actually like a remembering again, like just going back to, I feel like keeps going back to inner child and child and play for me, because I do have a really fun and vibrant experience talking to the plants, and I feel like a lot of them bring that out too. But yeah, it's just like remembering that imaginal realm that you can go into, because we're just so conditioned to forget it and write it off as something not meaningful. So it's been quite the gift. And I feel like it came at a perfect time. I feel like this past few months has been really astrologically challenging, or just energetically challenging. And I definitely had a time where I was reflecting back and I'm like, if I didn't have these tools right now, I would be struggling way harder than I am.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's just that it is a very intense time astrologically, like just as a energy vibration on the earth. It's a huge transformation. And um if we're not doing the inner work, if we're not able to connect to the earth, if we're not able to de-energize all the triggers, because there are so many, um it does pile up pretty intensely. And it's interesting how it also, all these different things that are going on affect different, like our life path will change. And I mean, I've noticed things like speeding up right now,
Yeah.
and they're like going really, really fast. And so you kind of, it helps a lot to have a grounding cord and have all of your tools in place for the ride.
And there's something different about this experience too, because I've learned those tools and I've used them, but something about being in that space for so long, which 3 hours feels really long, I gotta say, at the beginning, it's kind of tough because you're trying to bring a focused attention that entire time. But there's something really important and really powerful about that. And I definitely was able to access a deeper state of meditation or trance than I ever have before. And now it's much easier for me to go there. So I'm super grateful for that. I don't think I ever would have been in that headspace for 3 hours had I not, 3 hours at a time, had I not taken this course. So
It is a long course. Yeah, I'm actually, looking at moving forward. I'm like, in the beginning, maybe, because I notice things with the energy and where people are having struggles. And I'm like, maybe like we'll just start off with 1.5 hour classes, and then like it goes, if you want to move on, then it goes to 2 hours. And then sometimes we have like a longer, more like a retreat class that you go super deep, but that's more of a rare thing. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm looking at for the future.
I mean, I do think, yeah, it's challenging at first, but again, like I think it was really powerful, and I'm really grateful that
Yeah.
there's a an element of perseverance necessary, and I think that's a good thing in this work.
There's definitely a perseverance. Yeah. And you really had that. You came in with a lot of perseverance and very ready for the energy of this work, because it is really intense. Like someone has to really know within themselves that they're ready to embark on this journey. And you go through a lot to stay on this track, to stay on it. You go through a lot.
It's worth it though. And I notice, when I do work on my own after going through that, now everything comes much quicker and comes through a lot more effortlessly. But I don't think that would have happened the same way had I not gone through that experience of continuing to refocus, so
Yeah.
I'm grateful for it.
Thank you. Is there anything else that's coming to mind that you'd like to? And you don't have to have anything. It's kind of a final call.
I just think the thing that feels really important is that it's really hard to put what you're going to experience into words. And just to know that, yes, it's about communicating with plants, but really this is like such an important course for sensitive people. Even if you're not that interested in communicating with plants, I think it's such an important course for learning how to manage your own energy and really put the effort into that, because I feel like this is information that everyone needs to learn. Like it's now when I see clients and talk to them and they're experiencing anxiety, I'm like, we need to get you a grounding cord. You need to clear your energy. If everyone were doing this, they would have such a better experience, I think, just in general in daily life. So, yeah, I guess it's just hard to put into words like the fullness of this experience, but I think almost anyone could benefit.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. I went through kind of a time where I found this work and I was like, everyone in my life needs to take these classes and start doing these readings. And I agree. And some people are totally looking for it. And like your clients, that's so awesome that you've been able to bring it to them, because I think a lot of people are looking for this right now.
I mean, I just think that the information that, or the bringing the awareness to the fact that not everything that's happening inside you is yours seems really simple, but most people don't ever think about that. And it creates so many odd dynamics like shame or, all of these feelings because so much energy is projected onto them. So yeah, I think it's just so needed to understand how to transform that in a safe and empowered way.
Yeah, thank you. I really agree with that. There's a lot of, I think, detriment caused to our, when we associate ourselves as being the negative thought or the negative pattern or the negative action or whatever, when we associate that as who we are, it's just, yeah, especially for sensitive people, it can really be be on a long-term scale negatively impactful when it may not have been you in the first place, probably wasn't. And energy for sensitive people just seeps in a lot more easily. Like we, for whatever reason, absorb differently. Like I see not people who are less sensitive moving through the world, and I'm like, how are they doing that? They're just like bulldozing through life and all this stuff. And I like don't I don't move that way. Like I have to do all this stuff, or I just, yeah, it's become a real foundation.
And I think there's a lot of value in hearing that and being around people like that as well, because we can so often think that we're making that up or that's in our heads and it's
Yeah.
just hard for us. And yeah, I think that's really valuable in itself.
It becomes so familiar to our experience that it's like, well, isn't that me? It feels, this is like something that I feel so regularly.
Yeah.
This is something I can't recall the last time I didn't feel this, or that it was total, and so, yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Samantha. I
Of
appreciate
course.
sharing and your time. Yeah, so I would love to just stay in touch. I haven't been on Instagram much because I just needed a break.
Good for you. That's good.
Yeah, and it's also this transition right now of like we're like moving off grid. Might not get Wi-Fi, like just wired in internet. So there's going to be like a lot of changes, and it's like I'm just going to take a break from Instagram. I feel like that's something that I want for myself, so I'm going to give it. And yeah, anyway, I want to move more towards having an in-person place, because I think that I really appreciate that we can do all this online, and it's amazing that it works as well as it does online. And I think people are also just like craving connection in the physical body, like in a space.
For
So
sure. Especially after these 2 years.
everyone's like, get me off the freaking screen. Like we have our eyes closed and we set a room and we set a space and all these good things that really help with the energy, and we give a rose for our devices and all this stuff. But in person, you can't really like replace, it doesn't replace in person for me.
No, it just can't.
And also like, we talk about like we're creating our space, and when you're creating your space at home, and if you work at home and you do your meditation at home and your partnership is at home and you're like all the work, everything you need to do on the land, all of that is like right there. You're in it and you're having to learn all these tools and create your space and like de-energize all of that stuff that's going on, you know, within your home, versus when you leave your home and you go somewhere that has the energy set differently for you. It's easier. I mean, yeah, it's easier. I used to back in the day. It's like so long ago now, almost years ago. Um, but anyway, I'm creating that in like the most remote spot in California. But I think it will be growing. And anyway, I want to do like retreats and things so that people will have reasons to come out. And yeah, kind of, I also want to start working with the plants in like deeper ways. Like we're like I've noticed this work, it pairs really well with like psilocybin, and I'm interested in like doing ceremonies and things like that. So
Well, that would be amazing.
yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And the next round also, you're welcome to come back and dive in again. So
Amazing. I'm excited.
all right. Well, it's been so lovely to have you in class and to get to know you. And yeah, you're just a special spirit and have a lot of gifts and a lot to share with the world. So thank you.
Thank you. So are you. I'm so grateful for this. And yeah, we'll definitely stay in touch.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, have a beautiful rest of your day, and yeah, reach out and I'll keep everyone posted on everything that comes up in the future.
Cool. I'm excited.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.